Welcome back to Will It Read, hosted by Infrrd Intelligent Document Processing, where we try to stump our AI-driven machine learning first solution by asking it to extract from the most complex kinds of documents. I'm Teresa, and my colleague here with me today is Rahul. The documents we are reviewing today are engineering drawings. Manufacturing companies need to extract data from order forms and RFPs in order to quote pricing or create a work order for their prospects. Extracting data out of these documents is very time consuming, so most companies spend minimal labor on this. As a result, they exclude a lot of valuable information that could be used to create reusable informational assets, which ultimately would allow them to market their products more effectively. These documents are complex because they are very visual in nature. They contain a mix of drawings and text, which need to be interpreted together. All right. So Rahul, let's check out the demo.
So let me open one of the sample engineering diagrams and let's talk about this. Yeah.
Cool. All right, Rahul, what are the complex aspects of this use case?
Yeah. So if you look at this document, right, it is not just a document, it's a mix of drawings. There are specifications, there are measurements of components. Reading these images require various technologies.
Awesome. Are there any other aspects that are particularly challenging?
Yeah, in order to extract relevant information, we need to first identify the object in interest. In this case, it could be this hexagon shape or this pentagon shape. Then we need to link that object to their appropriate description or the specification. So that's another thing that's challenging with this document.
Awesome. Well, let's take a look at it.
Awesome. So I'm going to go back to our platform. Let's use Image Studio this time. So for any images or visual elements, our platform has an Image Studio. Let's go to engineering diagrams, and I'm going to upload this document.
All right. So tell me, why does this matter to a company?
That's a good question. Like a lot of these drawings, they contain these measurements for the components. And as you can imagine, these drawings are drawn to a scale. And we need to extract these measurements with high degree of accuracy. Otherwise, it affects their manufacturing process or their quotation process. Awesome. So now you would see the uploaded document on the left-hand side. And on the right-hand side, what we are currently doing is we're gonna create a model that can extract information and identify shapes. So I'll use add a new section option here. When you click on add a new section, on the left-hand side, you would notice I have an option on our user interface to click and drag and mark the shape of the boundary. So in this video, what we're going to do is we're going to mark a boundary around this component or the shape, which is usually a pentagon. Once I draw a shape, I'm going to click on this green check mark. And our platform and algorithms that we have sitting behind the scenes will try to identify these different shapes across all these two pages in this engineering diagram, like this. So we have identified various component names here. The moment I click on one of the shapes, it shows me where it extracted this shape from and what was the number inside the shape. Additionally, we also get the corresponding dimension and specification that we were talking about. Like for instance, this shape's specification is this section. Now, this section can mean a lot of things to our customers. These are sometimes a specification of this component or the tolerances or the measurements and various other things.
Quick question.
Yep.
So what happens if the document changes in structure? What happens if you have a completely different looking diagram? What happens if this particular instrument is here on one page and different location on another?
Absolutely. We can take a look at that as well. So our platform is not tied to a location. So in this case, we are actually telling our platform to start identifying these shapes. Hence, it's called Image Studio because it understands visual elements. So we're not going to look at the location, but instead our engines is going to look at these pentagon shapes and it'll try to extract these shapes from all the different pages. So as I scroll through this, regardless of where the component is present, we will always identify that shape and its corresponding dimension. So that's the beauty of it.
Right. So you're still not leading with a template based approach. It's entirely template free machine learning. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Awesome. So now that we have defined the shape, let's review the model. So you can actually click on this review model button and then click on save model, give a model name. So I'm just going to call this engineering diagrams, provide a project name. Oops. Provide a project name, an API key, select all the different languages and click on save. Okay, I need to mark one of the fields as primary. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to call this section. Now this section is added to the model. That was a step that I missed previously. I'm going to give it the name again. Click on save. And we should have an engineering model pretty soon. Okay, let's give a model name, a different model name. I'm going to call it engineering diagrams demo. Click on save. Now we have a model which is ready to process, and we can start uploading our engineering diagrams through the system. So let me just upload this sample document to our engine. It's currently in progress. Once the extraction is complete, the status will change to extraction only, and we will be able to review the results of the extraction. So I'm going to click on view document. And now if you see, we have the diagrams and you can basically tab through to look at all the different components. So we allow that feature through a platform where you can just quickly tab through all the components, their corresponding description. If anything looks incorrect, you can say, hey, this is not the right description. Instead, this is the right description. So we provide an option to provide feedback to the model as well. And you can save that for the model's continuous learning and continuous improvement.
Wow. So this can be extended to any kind of engineering diagram, really.
Absolutely. Yeah. Since we are not a template-based system, and you can actually train different shapes in any engineering diagram, because engineering diagrams come in various shapes and forms. And there's not one single solution out there that can holistically solve this. But we have tried solving this problem with our Image Studio, and the results are great.
Wow. Seems like a hit. Could
Yeah.
really transform so many challenges for so many businesses. It's great to
Mhm.
see. All right. Well, I suppose we didn't stump the system today, but there's always tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Let the automation begin.